Latham is back, and he is buff. A play point 8/7 was accelerate summon 2 knights. So based on accelerate, it's fine. It's a good rate. A spell that makes 2 knights is good. Fanfare gives your leader the following effect: whenever an allied follower attacks, and there is no allied knights in play, summon a knight. Whenever an allied follower that originally cost 1 play point comes into play, give it Storm. His effects do not stack and last for the match. In the late game, he gives you a bunch of 1/1 to Storm. Yeah, he fixed his gaping mouth problem. Looking at it, it's another token card. Sword might like this because tokens are good for aggressive strategies. And just like running, it's no real downside of running 3 of them because you can accelerate it. Unless you don't want 1/1s. The Fanfare is I would say secondary to the accelerate. I think the accelerate is the main reason you run this card. Second reason would be late game, you have an option. He's a big body. And his effect will help you a lot in a grindy late game scenario. Yeah. So if you're not maybe you want either you replace your Oathless Knight with this card, or if you want more copies of Oathless Knight, you play this. Give him a 7 for rotation. Accelerate is actually fine. There's some aggro sword lists that actually want to play the just tokens. He he makes 2 knights, so both of them are 1 play point instead of Oathless Knight, where one of them is 2 play points. So they both can be targeted by things that only target 1 play point followers. I'd say he's actually playable. Maybe not the best, but actually playable and limited. So just give him a 5. Take 2. He's flexible. You usually don't want your legendary card to be summon 2 knights. That's not that impressive. But for Sword it's fine, because Sword usually has good silvers and bronze that win the game, instead of just focusing on legendary cards that win the game. Fine to take 2, and then his Fanfare is really good. Take 2. Give him 8. It works well with Sky Fortress. It gives you tokens. It also works well with Arthur, because you would never want to run Oathless Knight in Arthur, because you pull a 1/1. This doesn't get pulled by Arthur, so it lets you run more 2-drop options without affecting your Arthur pull. So we'll see if they really want the 2 knights, but if they do, this is better than a lot of things. Zeta, 6 play point, 6/5 with Rush. Whenever this follower attacks, put a Beatrix into your hand. There's no Beatrix in your hand or in play. Looking at her before we look at Beatrix. 6 play point, 6/5 with Rush. It's fine. Just kind of like a removal spell. It has a body. Fine. Also an officer. The Beatrix is a 4 play point, 4/2 with Storm. Just it's the same damage as a Dark General without the condition of having to be in Vengeance. And Fanfare Enhanced 10 gain the ability to ignore Ward and recover 6 play points. It's pretty good. It's a good finisher. Obviously, if you would just play this card, it would be the stupidest thing ever. But you have to play a 6 play point card to get it. Makes it a little bit weaker. But the 6 play point card is not that bad. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I definitely see this card being played. Because it just gives you a free card, pretty much. You gotta take that into account too. And it's there's no downside, you just get a card. I'm giving an 8. We might see this card being just insane. Going on, it'll just be why? Why is this card crushing my 6-drop and then killing me the next turn with Storm? Actually, we have a 9. Could be playable in mid-sword for unlimited. Definitely not like unplayable. Give it a 4. We'll see. Another card that could be like, this card's so insane that you'll see it everywhere, but gives you 2 cards. You get 2 cards for 1. You draw a card. You get to remove something immediately without using a plate, without using an evolve point. And then the other card is either acts as removal or as a win con. Give it a 9 for take 2. Dragon Knights. Oh boy. 5 play point spell for Swordcraft. Choose summon a Vayne, or a Siegfried, or a Lancelot, or Percival. Enhance, choose 2 of these followers instead. Vayne. 2 play point. 5 play point 2/5, but he gets summoned by the other card, so his play points aren't that relevant. He's a 2/5 with at end of your turn, gain +1 attack and restore 3 defense to his follower. He's got a solid butt. His attack isn't that high, but in a situation where you need a follower to stick on the board, he's really good at doing that. And if he sticks on the board, he's just getting stronger and stronger. Siegfried. 5 play point, 5/4 with Bane and Ward. Those are good stats. He's not like White Ridge, where White Ridge gets to evolve and kills the thing without, like before it does damage. So he's not as good as like White Ridge, but he's one of the flexible options you get from Dragon Knights. So he's fine. Ward and Bane are good abilities together, especially for late game. Lancelot, 3/3 with Storm, 3 damage for 5, and he also evolves in 5/5. So evolving into 5 on turn 5 in Storm is about the norm for Sword, and just another option that they can have. And whenever his follower attacks, gain +1/+1 if there's a Vayne Indomitable Knight in play. So if he sees his bro hanging out beside him, he gets really hype and then gets bonus stats. Yeah, so he's a little bit weaker than Albert stat-wise. He doesn't get to like the double attack, but if the enemy has no board and you're going turn 5, you're going to pick this guy and you're going to slam into them. And in late game, the Storm in conjunction with getting another 5-drop is really good. Keep on doing that. First of all, 5 play point 5/4. Gain Rush when Siegfried is in play. Whenever this follower attacks, gain X attack. X equals the number of allied followers in play. So if his bro Siegfried is around, gets energized and can attack when he's played. Otherwise, he needs an evolve. Spending an evolve at turn 5, it really depends on what the board is, but I think in spending an evolve to trade on turn 5, I would prefer either Vayne or Siegfried. Because Siegfried has a good chance of getting a 2-for-1 with the evolve because of Bane. And Vayne can just like tank a whole bunch of stuff because he heals himself. Either it's a hard removal or it's to tank a bunch of hits. So I'd prefer them on the evolve than Percival. But the rush is good if you're going into if you have 8 play points for the enhance. Getting Siegfried and Percival is a good option. You have to clear one thing the opponent has, and have the ward Bane to clear more stuff. So he's a good option for the enhance, but I don't think he's one of the weaker options if you're just gonna play it on 5. Yeah, this card's really good because you get 2 5-drops for 8. This is an insane rate, and they're all very good. And it's like the card is super flexible, so many options. me give it 10 for rotation. I give it 6 in limited. It is so flexible. And really, you can just play it for Lancelot if you want the Storm. Take 2. Enhance is so good in Take 2. So good. Again, super flexible. You get 2 5-drops for 8. Like and they're statted as 5-drops. It's not like they have less stats than normal 5-drops. Yeah, it's insane card. Would pick and Take 2. Would run 3 and constructed. 4play.11 with ambush and Dia. So our stats obviously bad. And of course, ambush is a good ability. We'll see what these this fanfare is. Either get Avine, Novice Agent, or Infiltration in your hand. Novice Agent is a 0play.22. It does nothing. When it evolves, it gets +2 defense and no attack. And it gets Storm, and Evolve does 2 damage to enemy follower. So it's pretty good. Is it worth 4 play points? More like a 3 play point card. Yeah. Even a 2 play point card, but that'd be pretty good. It'd be really good for a 2 play point card. Is it 4 play points? Probably not. But you do get a 1/1 with ambush. That is also a commander for commander synergies. Oh, actually an officer. Oh, so it doesn't, not a commander. That's weird. I don't know. Doesn't seem that good. It's Storm though. Storm. Pretty relevant, but use an evolve. Infiltration is a 2 play point spell. Draw cards until you have X cards in your hand, equal to the number of cards in your opponent's hand. That's good. That's really good. Drawing until you have the same cards as your opponent. Again, like if you're an aggro deck versus a control deck, can be like insane. Usually you lose as an aggro deck if you you just like run out of cards. You're on a Steam. You have to start top decking, but you just get infiltration. It's pretty good. And the card's flexible too, because you can get. If you're maybe facing another aggro deck, Novice Agent actually very good in an aggro mirror because it gets Storm and it removes this thing off the board. This is a pretty good card in aggro mirror. And then if you have an option against control, like infiltration, just fill your hand up. Good against Haven in particular. Because the issue against Haven is they're going to heal the damage that they take, and in late game you just run out of cards. But with infiltration, you get your late game cards. You get more cards, so you can just get more damage in. And if your cards are doing more damage than they're healing, you win the game. Mid sword might not want this because they usually are sitting on a bunch of 8-drops and 7-drops in their hand. Aggro sword definitely wants to play this card. Yeah, it's a Divine Favor. I'm gonna give it a 7 rotation. Like, it's very good, but I don't know if you really want to run it in unlimited aggro. But I don't think it's unplayable. I think you can still play it because it helps you in the aggro mirror. It just doesn't, like, 4 drops you want to do more damage usually than just 2. And take 2. It's fine. I think I'd rather have different gold or legendary card in this one. It's actually one of the instances where it's probably weaker in take 2, just because it's a gold card. Go to 6. Charlotta. 3.23 with Ward. Little Vern in her art. That's cute. Her evolve is all allied followers can't be damaged by spells and effects until end of your opponent's turn. So it's okay. They can still be destroyed by enemy effects. Yeah, it's like a Magnus effect. But on a body, like a cheaper body, and it requires an Evo. Evolving 3 drops is awkward because it's really hard to play on turn 4 with other stuff. And evolving into only 4 attack doesn't clear too much. It does have Ward and a full Evo stat, so it can just sit in your curve, be good. And when you need it to evolve, it's good. Really good against Rune in particular. And Forest. It's good against Rune and Forest in general. So if we see a lot of them, this card will be playable. Yeah, it's good going first because stat wise, it just clears their 2-drop and protects your 2-drop. So let's do Snowball. There might not be room in Swordcraft for it because they have to fit Mars, they have to fit Valse in their deck. Not a lot of room for other 3-drops. But this is a good meta card. Oh, it's also good at Tenko. That's true. Soaks up Tenko hits for a turn. Nope, I've got rated. I'd give it a 7 in rotation. Pretty sure you don't want this unlimited. Take 2. It's actually really good. Almost an 8. More like a 7. You know what? I'm gonna drop this to a 6 in rotation. Head pinch will be good. And also potential, yeah, not to be seen at all. Yeah, 6, 1, and 7.
Gotta help a bloodkin in need.
Thanks for the host spot washer. 6 isn't bad. 6 is above average. Age-worn weaponry. Another one of these countdown amulets that have a choose option. If an allied Swordcraft follower is in play, and you have at least 2 play points to choose, play this card either Great Shield or Great Sword. If there's not an allied sword follower play, count down 2 at the end of your opponent's turn, summon a knight. You get 2 knights. Since they summon at the end of your opponent's turn, they kind of have Storm, because they can just attack the turn they appear. The Great Shield is countdown 1, fanfare give an allied follower, or allied Swordcraft follower, +1 defense. Last words, summon a Shield Guardian. A Shield Guardian is a 1/1 ward. So you get a 1/1 with a ward on the next turn. So the turn after you play this card. And you give an allied Swordcraft follower +1 defense. That's not good for 2 play points. Great Sword. Give an allied Swordcraft follower +1 attack. And last word, summon a Heavy Knight. Heavy Knight's a 1/2. Again, you're getting a delayed 1/2 for 2 play points and +1 attack. It doesn't seem good. It doesn't seem good. I think a lot of the time I'd rather just play this because you get more value out of your card. Station. I'm gonna give it a 3. We don't go lower than 1. So it seems to be 1 in limited. Take 2. It's fine. I wouldn't want to pick too many of these. Probably like... I wouldn't be too happy getting it, but I wouldn't be like super sad. Still playable, just not that good. It was 4. Thanks for all the follows, guys. We're almost done Swordcraft. I have a whole bunch of other classes to go through. 1 play point, 1/1. Bell Sword Lucius. As Fanfare, Enhance 5, Destroy Enemy Follower. So you can either play as a 1/1, help you fill your curve. It's just a 1/1, so it's dies to a lot of things. It doesn't trade very well. So as like card value goes, not that great. But it can fill your curve, especially in like aggro. The Enhance 5 is good. Enhance 5 is average for destroying something. 5 play points for just a kill spell is good, and you get a 1/1. Which isn't like the best upside, but it is an upside. And the card's flexible. You can play as a 1-drop. Cards that are the bomb. Dragon Knights is the bomb. It is the bomb. And Zeta's pretty good. For rotation, it's a flexible card. If we need this, if Sword needs this 5-drop kill. The only issue is that if you're playing Arthur, you get pull this 1/1 out of your deck, which isn't that great. Maybe an aggro deck that doesn't run Arthur would want to play this just as a way to get through Ward later. I did Forest first. I'm just doing them in order. They appear on the website. Unlimited, it's a... Nah, they have like, there's way better 1-drops. Fights for a lot of, yeah, and then like, you have Dance of Death and stuff, so... Like a 1. Take 2? He's actually okay. Just having removal on Take 2 is good. And removal on a body is, even if the body's like, even the body's just a 1/1, it's fine. Because Sword likes getting chip damage in. Like, it really likes getting chip damage in. Maybe give it a 7. Yeah, 7. Just 5. 5 play point. Destroy enemy follower is fine. Sometimes these numbers are kind of arbitrary. Like, just don't really focus on them too much. Princess Tina, 4 play point, 3/3. At the end of your turn, put a random 1 play point Swordcraft follower from your deck into play. The best she can be is like a 3/3 that gets you a 1/2 at the end of your turn. Because she's gonna die immediately. You can compare this card to Goblin Leader. Goblin Leader, after he was nerfed, didn't see too much play. It's a little bit better than a Goblin Leader, because the quality of your 1-drops is going to be hopefully higher than a Goblin, depending on how you build your deck. It'll also be lower than a Goblin, you just get like 1/1s out of your deck, like Lucius. He's 1 more attack than Goblin Leader, and his commander, so yeah, there's that, but does Swordcraft want to play Goblin Leader? There's all this in your deck for 1-drop, which is nice. I don't think you want to play this. It does help with your with Spartacus, that is true. Since your 1-drops out of Spartacus deck. Okay. It's good when you're going first. But it's so much better 4-drops going first in Sword, because you still have Chromatic Duel. It's okay with Mars, but again, you have Chromatic Duel. So, rotation, give it a 5. Limited, it's a 1. Take 2, it's bronze. It's pretty much a Goblin Leader. Goblin Leader is fine. The only issue is if you build your deck and there's no 1-drops or very little 1-drops, Princess Tina loses a lot of value. It really dependent on your deck you build. So it can either range from, I'd say, about a 6, but like a 2. So I throw in the middle there and like give it like a 4. So again, it ranges. It can either be terrible, or it can be the same, like a little better than a Goblin Leader, depending on your deck.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Yeah, you do like you do have the like option of getting a bunch of 1-drops because there's a bunch of them, and they're good because they're like Lucius. Just the issue is sometimes in Take-Two it doesn't work out, and cards that rely on other cards for combos just can end up being really dead. 3-play point, 3-1, Ambush Bane. Pew 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 pew. Tanya. This is a card. This is a good card. It has 1 defense, so it dies to a lot of AoEs. Doesn't trade into brambles, but you're not trading with this. You're going face. This card's going face. You're gonna play this and you're gonna slam face next turn. If they have ward, you're gonna play this and slam in the ward. It was good. Pretty good. Lapinate on that. Might even play unlimited. Actually, probably playable in like Aggro Sword. It doesn't have Storm, but you get more damage out of your play point than like a 2/2 Storm. And then you can play this on turn 3 and use your Evolve to get in 5 damage. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6. Take-Two has Bane, has Ambush. Those are 2 really relevant things, and you're gonna see less board clears. I'm gonna give it an 8. Tycoon, 2-play point, 2/2, with Fanfare Enhance 7. Gain +3/+3, then draw cards until there are at least 5 cards in your hand. It's a fighter it's commander fighter stats. It has an enhance that makes it a 5/5 and draws cards until you have 5 cards in hand, which could be 4 cards. I mean, actually, it could be like 5 cards if your hand's empty, or it could be no cards if you have 5 or more already. Not terrible. Like an aggro Swordcraft deck might want to play it just as a hand refill. I think Infiltration is probably a better option, but you get to play it as a 2-drop. Non-exciting pull from Arthur. It kind of has that issue. And 7 is kind of a lot. Still, you have to draw cards. I think it's pretty average, even 5. Limited, playable. Can't even play an Aggro Sword. Like, Aggro Sword needs to be doing aggressive things on turn 2. Take-Two, he's actually good. He's a fighters are perfectly fine, Take-Two. Fighters with no upside, playable. Stats are just good enough. He's an upside, and his upside is actually good in Take-Two. Where you're gonna have to, where resource battle is, like, really important. Go ahead and slam a 7 on there. Maybe an 8, depending on how aggressive your deck is. If your deck is really slow, it might not be that good. Like, getting like maybe even like a 5/5 that draws 2 cards is fine. If you're a super aggressive deck, he becomes even better. 1 play point spell for Swordcraft. Discard a card from your hand, draw a card. Put a H-Sworn weaponry into your hand. So you cycle a card, and you get to draw. You got to draw an H-Sworn weaponry, which is not a good card. It's fine because you get a free card out of it. It's not like you're not really losing a card. You're just turning a card into H-Sworn weaponry, which is usually probably a downgrade. But you also draw a card, so it's fine. Good for Spartacus. Sword has draw, like draw one card. It has a lot of that. It just doesn't have draw multiple cards. Like cycling a card isn't that good, especially if it's a spell. Unless there's like other synergies, like spell boost or dragon looking at spells and amulets. Sword doesn't really have that, but maybe if you're playing Spartacus. Particularly good in Spartacus. No, actually not that good in Spartacus. You still discard a card. It's not like you really go up a card. There's probably better options, maybe. I don't know. Probably fine for limited Spartacus. I'm gonna give it a 3 for rotation. I'm gonna give it a 5 for unlimited just because Spartacus. Obviously Spartacus isn't a tier deck, but this fits in it. Oh yeah, you discard Trail of Light for extra value. It's pretty sick, actually. Think about that. Take 2. You can get rid of. You can downgrade a card to a weaponry, but you can also upgrade a card. Just some really bad card in Take 2. It's fine. Like a 5, just fine. Pretty low actually. It has a scale of, am I upgrading a card into a weaponry, or am I downgrading a card into a weaponry? And then you just cycle through your deck. Swordcraft has got some really good things. Lucius is fine. I think as removal. Zeta and Dragon Knights, so those are good cards. Real good.